Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Scrap Mechanic. Oh guys, today you are in for a treat. I have been playing a little bit off camera and I think I came up with a few things that we could implement in today's episode. Some of them I have actually already implemented, but of course we are gonna go through all of the features and we're gonna build them together as well. So let me actually first give you a little tour before we have a look at any of the functionalities in detail. The first thing you might notice is that we now have a button right here in order to open or close the door. And the nice thing about this system is now that we have a button on the other side in order to do the exact same thing. And it doesn't matter on which side we are clicking the button, it will always allow us to toggle the door. What I also really like is look at how the door actually kind of gets put into place right here. Snaps inside the wall. I just love it. Anyways, the way I've done that is with logic gates. So this right here is an XOR gate. This is the other thing that I have added. I have also added a little encasement for our wheels right here. We're gonna have a proper look at that in a second too. Then we have an addition right here on the top. This is now actually taking care of expanding the wheels. So this time we can actually do it with the click of one single button thanks to this contraption. Let me just show you what this does. This is some kind of a piston functionality here, activating two sensors in a specific interval. And it is actually the perfect interval in order to kind of do that automatically without us timing it, which is great. But again, we're gonna have a proper look at that in just a second. Then the third addition and the most nifty addition I would say is the staircase right here. So first I actually tried to kind of make a staircase that goes straight up, but then I figured a spirally staircase might actually be the better idea. So what we can do right here is actually activate this, and this will open up a staircase for us where we can go to the next floor right here. And for the time being I just made a little hole right here so that I'm able to actually close this staircase off, and there we go, we are on the second floor and we can do whatever the heck we want on top of here. Isn't that just amazing? Let's open up the staircase again and we are gonna go down right here, and then of course we are gonna close it off. There we go, beautiful. These are the topics for today's episode. Let's get to the building part. So the first thing I would love to implement is a second XOR gate right here. So just to show you how this is actually working, let's hop right here. Yeah, right here we can activate the button. So what this is supposed to do is activate this sensor no matter which button we click. Now, if the buttons are not in the same state, so one button should be on and the other one should be off, then the sensor should be activated. And if both buttons are in the same state, then the sensor shouldn't be activated. The way we achieve that is with a bearing right here. This is hooked up here. And as soon as I click the button, this thing will turn around 45 or so degrees, maybe 60, I'm not sure anymore. So let me click that button and there we go, it is turning around and therefore activating this sensor. And you can see that I built the contraption in a way so that the sensor gets blocked right here. So in case something else gets in the way, the sensor will not be accidentally triggered. So that is one thing that happens. We can also click this button again and then of course the sensor will be deactivated and therefore the door mechanism will go in reverse. Now if we click this button right here on the other side, then of course this thing right here will turn around and activate the sensor in reverse. You can see it's just doing the same thing but in reverse. Now of course what happens if we click the button on the inside, then this thing will turn around again and get the sensor out of reach from this second input. So that means we can now click this button and it will move outside of the way and therefore close the door. And this is how simple it actually is. We are now gonna build this on the other side in order to make another XOR gate, and I would love to attach it to this button and actually build another button on the top in order to activate the same mechanism. In order to do that, I need to clear up a little bit of room here. We need to access this thing here. Yes, indeed. Let's see if we can access it better when the staircase is actually open. Yeah, not really. But you can see I already prepared a little something here. I'm guessing we are just gonna have to remove a little more from here so that I can hop on top. No, that doesn't work out. Hopefully I'm not gonna destroy everything. Okay, there we go. I finally made it in from the top. We are gonna start with a block right here. This is gonna be our starting area, and then we want to remove a few things here. We want to go... Oh, actually, I want to use a concrete block here. So we're not gonna go with metal, we're gonna go with concrete, and I want to move 2 blocks out, and then I want to move up. Let's see, 1, 2, 3... That should be good, right? 3, yeah. So we go up here as well, 3 blocks, and then we want to add a little sensor right here. I want this to be facing this way. Okay, great. Then we need another turn block, and oh geez, you can already see I added the bearing, so we can add this right there, and we just have to make a stick for this one. I think it needs to be this size as well. Now thinking of it, this might have to be 1 higher. Let's actually see how I've done it on the other side. Yeah, I have 2 blocks in between and then the sensor. Okay, so this is correct already. Therefore, we are gonna use the first controller and hook it up to this thing, and then we grab the second controller and hook it up to this bearing. Of course, the bearings... Oh, what happened here? Oh yeah, hold the phone. This bearing is right over here. Okay, I'm losing control. Okay, so we want to turn this 45 degrees should it be activated, and the same thing with the other controller. And then we want to make sure that this is turning this way, which it is, and this one should be turning the other way. Oh man, I don't understand what happened here. Why is this bearing hooked up to this thing? This shouldn't be the case, right? It should be hooked up to the wheel. Ah, okay, there we go. This one hooked up to totally the wrong thing. This should be the steering bearing. There we go. And then I want to hook up the controller to this. Sometimes it is harsh to see, but there we go. Turn 45 degrees, and are you turning the right way? Yes, indeed. Okay, now instead of this button, which we have hooked up to the staircase controller right here, we want to hook up this sensor to the staircase controller. Can we do that? No. And there we go. I must have misclicked. Okay, and now we want to hook up the button to the first controller here. It doesn't matter which one. We can hook it up to this, and then we want to add another button on the top. Let's actually see where this goes. Does this already work? Yeah, there we go. So we come up right here. So maybe it would be appropriate to have a button there. What do you think? Something like that. And we can hook this up to the second controller here. And therefore, if we click this, it should not do anything. Second controller. Oh, no bearings connected. Oh man, this is so weird. Look at, oh man, all the mishaps. This shouldn't be hooked up to this one, this should be hooked up to this one. And then 45 degrees. There we go. Okay, now I should be able to do it by hooking up this to this controller. And then we want to move up the stairs and click this button. There we go. Great. Okay, we now have the toggle functionality for the staircase as well. And now I'm gonna explain you how to do the staircase. And maybe we do this XOR gate a little bit more specifically this time. However, let's take care of the staircase first. It is actually pretty easy. You just have to put a bearing on the bottom, then you do something like that. However large you want to make your staircase. You have a second bearing and you continue as such, a third bearing. And we're just gonna do one more for demonstration purposes. Then of course you need a controller and you want to hook it up to each bearing individually in order. There we go. Or the order actually doesn't really matter. And you can go 15 or 30 degrees. I went 30 degrees for my staircase because I needed to go up in a specific manner. But there we go, all you need is a switch, hook that up and then click this thing and your staircase will develop. You can actually walk up that. So now how to do the toggle functionality, we're gonna do this a little bit more intelligently now. So what we need is a block right here with a bearing. Then we want to go up 3 blocks and right here on the top we're gonna have our sensor. We're gonna make a little U shape with 1 block in between so that we have the space to have something in between those. And you can see if I don't have this block, then something else could activate the sensor. However, if this block is right here, nothing will activate the sensor. So this is why we have it. Then on the other side, I'm gonna do the same thing. We have to do this one space apart with our measurements. Have another bearing right here, go up 3 blocks or so. There we go. And then of course we want to have 2 additional controllers. So we're gonna have these right there. One controller is taking care of this one and the other one of this one. We want to switch this, of course, and this as well, so they turn against each other. Then we want a 45 degrees angle for both of them. There we go. And then of course, last but not least, we need 2 switches. These switches can be wherever you please, hooked up to these controllers, and now we can do this. And the sensor will be activated. We can do this, it will be deactivated. We can do this, activated, activated. You know, it kind of works. Okay, this one didn't really work. Oh, we just have to make it 1 block larger. Yeah, but you get the basic gist. And now, of course, for the sensor would have to be hooked up to this thing, and then the staircase will react accordingly no matter what we do. Great, okay. So I thought we'd do that just for a little better explanation. And now we can actually have a look at the other thing I have on top of here. And for that, I want to hop into my cockpit very briefly, just to give you a better look on this. There we go. We're gonna hop into here, and you can see I have 2 things on my hotbar. The first thing is actually the staircase, just so that we can have a better look at it. I mean, look at that. This is just amazing. I love it. Anyways, the other thing that I have on my number 1 hotbar is this thing that we have right on the top here. So you will have to look at this thing, what it is doing. Right now it is expanded, and you can see that we have 2 sensors right there. And as soon as I activate it, then the sensors are going to be activated in a certain frequency and length. And this is just the right timing in order to get the wheels in and actually hide them within these boxes. So there you go, they just go out and back in. And the way I've done that is with a little piston system, and I figured this is actually the perfect timing for those 2 things. So it was just more or less trialing and erroring. However, how to build this piston system I can show you, because it is actually pretty easy. What we want to start with is something like this, and you can now go up as many blocks as you wish. The higher you go up, of course, the longer the piston will expand. Then we want to go with another bearing right there, and we want to move all the way down. So we're gonna do something like that. Add another bearing here and move all the way up. And this is all we have to do bearing wise. Now we need a controller, and we want to hook this up to each bearing individually. And now comes the clue. We want to go into here, set the first bearing to 90 degrees, the second bearing to 180 degrees, and the third bearing again to 90 degrees. And this will allow us to hook up a switch to this. And what this will do, just observe it. Yes, that was not my intention. Of course, not everything is going into the direction I want it to go. Let's also make it go a little bit slower so we can observe better. But there we go. Once we have figured it out, we can see that this upmost block is going perfectly straight. And of course, it is expanding exactly the length of these 2 piston arms. But observe this block right here. It will be going straight back. And it is just a perfect sight. And this is how I've done it here. So if we go ahead and have a proper look up here, kind of observe this. This block right here will expand and activate this sensor first, which is going to activate the flaps. So these things right here on the sides will open up first, and then after a while it will also activate this sensor, expanding the wheels. But this sensor is going to be active a lot longer because this thing is still in the way. So if we just observe it, then you can see sensor active, still active, and now it is deactivated. And therefore the flaps are also going back in the end. I have to admit I was also a little bit lucky. This was actually my first attempt with the piston system, and it was just kind of the perfect timing. I don't know why. But there we go, guys. These are all the additions that I have installed. I tried to explain them as good as I could. Now I would suggest we're gonna take care of the decoration a little bit more. I want to fix up what I have destroyed here. We can now close this off entirely for good and actually hide all of the ugliness that is still here. And there we go. And now the door also gets in place again. I just love how it fits so nicely into here. Maybe we do a little thing here too. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, how about here? Is there something else that we can close off? I kind of need to leave this edge free, otherwise the flaps are kind of spazzing out. No, I think that is okay. I also think we shouldn't build this staircase on the other side as well. I mean, no house that is this small has 2 staircases. However, what we still can do is close this off. Let's see, this is going to turn around, so theoretically I should be able to add something here, and we can just, I guess, expand this all the way up. Let's see, we would have to go up to here. Yeah, and I guess we just close this off. I hope this is still able to turn around. Let's actually see. Oh no, it is having trouble. No, actually this didn't even activate this. Let's see. Okay, this is still working. Yes, beautiful. Great, so that means we can complete this like so. And then when we have this door open, let's see if we can actually kind of hide it in a similar way. We could add something here and then something metallic right there. No, that is concrete. I want metal. I cannot distinguish these 2 blocks. There we go, metal. And I guess that's gonna be it for now. We just close this off with some more wood here. Okay, let's actually get on top of the 2nd floor here. Yeah, that's what I thought. We need to complete something here. Okay, now this wheel is completely hidden. Let's actually hit this button and just check it out. Oh yes, I love it. I love the system. But you can see it is slowly but surely getting a little bit laggy. So I'm not sure if we are going into the right direction with this. However, I'm not gonna stop until the game breaks, so deal with it, deal with it. I guess we could have a little drive around and just check out how things are doing currently. We want to go into the seat and expand the wheels. Yes, come on baby, there we go, beautiful. Now we are gonna try to, oh my gosh, we are still like a crazy madman. Yeah, just drive down the hill. Yeah, you might have noticed I changed the locations. Oh, just bear with me, the frames are horrible, but I have to say this thing is still driving very well. Yes, I like. Okay, I really like this location. Let's settle down here once more. We're gonna plant down the house. There we go. Hide the wheels properly. Beautiful. Okay, so we should also hide these wheels right here, shouldn't we? Yes, indeed. That's exactly what we should do. So we are gonna start with that task. We can do something like this. Yes, that's gonna be good. Now let's open up the flaps. Where are the flaps exactly? Let's see. I want to click this button and just check out. They are here. So why did I need to know that? I didn't really need to know that, did I? No. We're gonna complete the sides right here, and now I guess we can make a little pillar, have this here, and then add the bearing there. Okay, and now we just need to complete this up to here. Okay, beautiful. This is nicely hidden. The bearing needs to be hooked up to which controller? Oh my freaking gosh. I think it was this controller here. We want to hook this up. It is number 7. That sounds good. Let's actually set it up. Number 7 should go 90 degrees. And we want to make sure that it is going the right way. No, it wasn't. So there we go. Now it is going the right way. Let's quickly test it out, hitting the number 1 button. Yes, it is opening up. The wheel is getting out and closing off. Great. Okay, now we only have to rinse and repeat that with the last wheel. Let me actually quickly do that and I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. I think I got them all. Let's actually see. Yes, indeed. Oh my gosh, guys. This is getting better and better. The only thing we have to do now is kind of complete the ceiling. I mean, we can now actually hide everything that is on top of here. How do we want to do this? Just roof it up or what? Yeah, I guess we can do that. We're gonna do something like this. And now we complete the ceiling. Oh, actually, I would like the ceiling to be able to open up so that we kind of have a sunroof. So that's something we are definitely gonna implement. But first, I just want to see, how that's working out. Let's close off the door. There we go. Hop into the seat. And now we have a closed off house. Yeah, I definitely want to install a sunroof. But there we go. We are still able to drive around. The heat isn't too shabby. But we do have one problem. We cannot go over too steep hills. Otherwise, we actually get caught on the terrain. So maybe that's something we have to implement, but that's exactly what the walker functionality is gonna be for. And then, of course, don't forget about the flying functionality. I actually think we need a sunroof, and the sunroof is gonna expand into wings or something crazy like that. However, I seem to be trapped. Oh my gosh. Well, that is not good. Not good at all. However, that is something to fix for the next episode. Other than that, guys, I would say this has been a successful episode, even though it is a little bit laggy, but it, kind of works out still. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're finding this project as great as I. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great time and see you soon. Bye bye.